Haus does not mean what you think it means. Hey everyone, Dana here. We did it before with name and Name, and today we're pulling back the curtain on the German word Haus, because house does not mean house. And if you think that house does mean house, don't feel bad, because I thought that house meant exactly the same thing as house. That's what I was taught when I was first learning German, that house is house. But no, I have since learned, living here in Germany, that house is not actually house. I mean, house is house. House does mean house, but it also means some other things. For me, this is a house in English. This is a house, and this is a house, and this is a house, and this is a house. All of these are what I would call houses in English, or also Häuser in German. So yes, at this point, the two words house and house do actually still mean the same thing. This is a house in English and a house in German. But just wait. What about this? What would you call this? In English, I would call this a building. Depending on what's in there, I might get a little bit more specific and refer to it as an apartment building or an office building, but I could also just call it a building. This, a house, is also a building. So in English, buildings are houses. No, other way around. In English, all houses are buildings, but not all buildings are houses. Okay? So far, so good? Keep that in mind because we're going to need it in a second. Okay, so what is the German word for building? Well, for one, Gebäude. And this here is also a Gebäude in German. But you know what I have also heard structures like this being called in German? Haus. House! This kind of building can be referred to as a house in German. Hochhaus, literally high house or tall house, is the German word for skyscraper. But that's not all. Autohaus, literally car house for car dealership. Kaufhaus, literally buying house for department store. Möbelhaus, furniture house for furniture store. And Bürohaus, office house for, you guessed it, office building. I'm sorry, but none of those things are what I think of when I think of a house. Or at least they weren't until I moved to Germany. In German, you can even have a stair house. Treppenhaus for staircase. I love that. It's a house for the stairs. It's a stair house. So if someone in Germany says that there's a bakery in the house next door, es gibt eine Bäckerei im Haus nebenan, they are not saying that there's a bakery inside of your neighbor's home. No, that's not what they're saying. So don't go ringing on your neighbor's doorbell looking for Krapfen or Pfannkuchen or Berliner or whatever they're called where you live in Germany. Don't do that. They're just saying that there's a bakery in the building next door. Question. I also sometimes use house in English as a replacement, kind of, for the word home. So I currently live in an apartment, but sometimes I have noticed that instead of calling it my apartment or my home, I find myself referring to it as my house, even though it's not a house, it's an apartment. So like, for example, my house is just right around the corner from that store. Yeah, I sometimes say house instead of what I actually mean is my home or my apartment is just right around the corner from that store. So my question is, do you do that? Anyone else refer to a non-house that they live in, like an apartment, for example, as house? Let me know in the comments. So my question for you is, house, building, Gebäude, what do these words mean to you? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I also made a German version of this video linked down in the description box below and in the little eye in the corner. For more content from me, you can also follow me over on my Instagram @wantedadventure. I usually do my Instagram stories in German, and I usually make little English subtitles for them. And a really, really, really big thank you so much to our patrons on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Thank you so, so, so very much for your support. Until next time, auf Wiedersehen.